welcome to my channel, Lori's Little Designs and Crafts. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to have you. Make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss an upload. Today we're going to be doing a little whip and chat, something different. I haven't done one of these before on my channel yet, so this is the first one. If you do not know what WIP stands for work in progress, and chat stands for chat. So today I'm actually just going to be working on this diamond painting. I'm working on Cozy Christmas. I've been working on this kit since mid-November. So this is Cozy Christmas by Rita Konya, and it is from Diamond Art Club. I've been working on this canvas for jingle drills, and I was hoping to have it finished in time to submit for the grand prize entry. However, that's not gonna happen. I actually have 3 rows left on this painting. It's just so confetti heavy, and with the holidays and everything, I just didn't have as much time to work on it as I thought I was going to. But that's what I'm going to be working on today and just chatting with you guys. So if you have a project of any kind, feel free to whip it out and work on it alongside me. And yeah, so let's go over the tools and everything that I'm going to be using before I forget, because I will forget. I'm going to be using my Jingle Drills event tray. This is the tray from Firefly, and it is the 2024 tray. It's upside down. I actually unboxed this on my channel in my most recent small shop haul, so if you didn't see that, be sure to go check it out. I'm going to be using this putty, which is from Tracy's DP World. It is peppermint, I'm sorry, it's candy cane, not peppermint scented. It's candy cane scented putty. And I'm also going to be using, this is actually a thing of wax. This wax is from Patty Wax, and it is their unscented super sticky wax. I'll use this as my single placer, and then I'll use the putty in my multi-placer. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my tools loaded up and ready to go. I actually just finished cleaning them out. I try to start with like a fresh load of putty and wax every time I sit down to diamond paint, usually, because it does dry up pretty quickly on me. It's just the environment that I'm in. So this is the putty. I've been using it, as you can see. So far, I really like this putty. It's a little harder of a putty, but I think it's climate dependent, really. Because if it does get too warm in my office, it does soften a bit. And then what I do is I just stick it in the fridge for a little bit, and then it hardens back up, and it works really well. So yeah, hi, how are you? Welcome. I hope everyone had a fantastic holiday. It is, what is today? Today's the 31st, so it's New Year's Eve, which is really exciting. I honestly can't believe that the new year is upon us. It's kind of crazy to think about, because I feel like it was just Thanksgiving. Like, I swear it was just Thanksgiving. Which, I mean, I guess Thanksgiving really wasn't that long ago, so it was just Thanksgiving. So I hope everyone had a good holiday. Our Christmas it actually went pretty well, all things considered. Usually Christmas is really, really hectic around here, because we not only do, you know, Christmas at our house, my husband and I, we also celebrate Christmas with his parents. And then on Christmas Day, we go over to his grandparents' house. So it's kind of crazy. And then we also, this year, we actually ended up spending a lot of time with our friends, which is great. I'm really happy that we had the time to do that. But it was just a lot. It was a lot. I feel like I'm still tired from Christmas. So I don't know. I hope you guys had a good Christmas, for sure. So we're going to be working in this section here. I have some washi tape down. If you're looking, I've clearly started on this section, but I have not completed it yet. So this is the section we're going to be working in. I think I'm going to start with that little heart symbol. So what I do when I open up a section to work on it is I look to see what symbol is jumping out at me the most in that section, and then that's the symbol that I'll work with. So it works pretty well for me that way. yeah, so I hope everyone had a good Christmas. We actually did Christmas a little differently this year. Usually we do like a big holiday spread for meals. And this year we actually got everyone on board with doing something a little bit more simple. So instead of doing the big traditional like ham, turkey with all the fixins and sides and stuff, what we decided to do, oh, that's plastic. No wonder it wouldn't go down. What we decided to do was everyone was going to bring like a crock pot dish or something easy that didn't require anyone being in the kitchen all day. So my husband and I actually brought like a pot of chili because everyone really likes my chili recipe, and we made some cornbread. And then someone else brought like, they made like a blackberry cobbler dessert that was in the crock pot, and it was really good. And then someone else made like some kind of stuffing dish that was like loaded with like rice and some kind of sausage, and it was really good too. And the reason why we opted to do that this year is because Christmas is very stressful, right? And it's not supposed to be. And what ends up happening is one or two people would get stuck in the kitchen all day and not be able to spend any time with the family. And it's really unfair because, you know, it was kind of like the same couple people every single year. Myself being included. And it's just really not fair, right? And no one else really wanted to cook, and then the same two or three people would get stuck cleaning up as well. So before Thanksgiving came around, or maybe it was at Thanksgiving, my husband and I were like, hey, can we try doing things a little differently this year, maybe doing it this way? And surprisingly, everyone was like, yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. That's great. Let's do it. So we got everyone on board with it. It was great. Everyone's like, I'll bring this, I'll bring that. And it worked out really well. And we did the same thing for Christmas Eve, because Christmas at my husband's grandparents is literally like a 2-day event. So we go over there Christmas Eve and we spend all night like playing games and just enjoying each other's company, and we'll sit around and eat food. And then Christmas Day, we open gifts and eat some more food and enjoy each other's company and all that jazz. So we spend literally 2 days over there with them, which is completely fine. I mean, there's like 15 of us. So, and there's a lot to do to keep us busy. Like this year, we actually brought our VR headset over and exposed some of the family to VR gaming, which was really entertaining because we had them do some, I won't say scary games, but they were kind of intense in some in some aspects, but they weren't like horror games or anything. Like it took you up into an elevator, and so if you didn't like heights, it was probably disorienting. But honestly, when you first try VR gaming, it's disorienting anyways. But we brought that over and everyone really enjoyed it, to the point to where they're like, I'm gonna go out and buy one like right now. And we're like, okay. They're like, they're not cheap. they're not cheap. We're like, oh, okay, well, good luck. We actually bought ours pre-owned because, you know, they are kind of expensive, and we had a bunch of retro consoles that we ended up like trading in towards it, and almost pretty much got it for free almost. But so yeah, that was a lot of fun, and they have like a pool table and everything over there, so we played pool and, you know, just played some games and enjoyed each other's company, and it was honestly really nice and relaxing. And then Christmas Day, because there's 15 of us that go over there, there are so many gifts. It's actually kind of crazy, and we have tried a couple things in the past to kind of minimize the amount of gifts that everyone needs to open on Christmas Day, because it just becomes too much. Like one year we're like, hey, can we just like draw names and then you buy for that one person instead of, you know, 15 people buying for 15 people? Because even if you're just buying one person, one gift, that's 150 gifts, right? 15 times 15 is 150. Is that right? I think that's right. Hang on, I gotta check my math. That is so not right. 15 times 15 is 225. Just so we're clear, that's 225. I don't know where I got 150 from. I made that up. But yeah, so if you're buying a gift for every single person, there's 15 people, that's 225 gifts. And most people buy more than one thing for other, each other, which is, that's wonderful. That's great. But it takes so long to open all of those, right? I mean, it takes time to open 225 plus gifts, which is absolutely insane. It's crazy. So, and what ends up happening is, they get all piled up and everything, and someone, or a couple someones would be stuck handing everything out. And it's just like chaos. So this year, we did things a little differently. We couldn't get anyone to agree on a budget or drawing names or anything like that. So that is what it is. But what we did was my husband and I actually went over there on Christmas Day a little earlier before everyone else got over there. And we ended up sorting all the gifts preemptively and putting them in piles based on name. So we set up all the chairs in a big circle because they have a really big basement. They have a lot of room over there, which is fantastic. It's really great for holiday gatherings and whatnot. So we went over there before everyone else got over there Christmas morning. And I think we were planning to all meet at 11. I think it was 11, so we got over there around 10 in the morning, which isn't super early for me and my husband. I don't mind that because we naturally get up really early anyways. But yeah, we went over there and sorted everything. And then that way, when everyone got there, you just found the chair that had your name on it. Everything was already sorted. And then we went around in a circle and everyone opened a gift, not one at a time. So we had households open at a time. So my husband and I would open a gift at the same time and everyone would be like, ooh, and ah. And it was really nice because you got to see what everyone got and you got to see the reaction of the person that you bought a gift for. And I think that's really important because I can't speak for everyone, but I like seeing reactions of people opening something that I've picked out for them. I don't know, that's just me. I also hand make a lot of stuff. So this year, all of the guys in our family got matching hats and scarves that I made using my Centro knitting machine. And those take a while to make. I went out of my way to figure out everyone's favorite colors and stuff like that. And then I made them a set, a hat and scarf set. And then for the gals, I made everyone I crocheted them shawls and they turned out really nicely. So I had to do, was it 6 or 7 shawls, and then the remainder were hats and scarves. And the shawls were crocheted, so they took longer than the hats and scarves did, which is fine. I really like crocheting, and I really like being crafty in general. But I guess my point is, when you spend a lot of time on something like that, you want to see the person open what you got them. And I really appreciated how we did gifts this year in terms of the process. I thought it was less stressful and no one got stuck what did I just do? Did that go down? No one got stuck handing gifts out. I got drills stuck on my putty. No one got stuck handing gifts out, and because what would happen is the person who was handing stuff out didn't get to open their stuff until the very end, which is not fun, it can be kind of stressful, and that did not go down where I wanted it to. So yeah, we had a really good Christmas. I got way too many things for Christmas. I always get way too many things. I feel like I don't want to sound ungrateful. I love receiving gifts and I love giving gifts, but I think there needs to be some kind of limit, especially with today's economy, right? So I got a bunch of things that I really wanted and a bunch of things that I did not really want but still appreciate. And yeah, it was just really nice. It was really nice. So I had a good holiday. I hope you guys had a good holiday as well. In terms of New Year's Eve, so today is New Year's Eve. You guys won't see this video until Saturday, which is the 3rd? No, it's the 4th. So it'll be January 4th when this video goes up. So I hope you guys had a good Christmas and a good New Year's Eve. We are not doing anything special for New Year's Eve. I'm actually, it's funny, it's like I still think I'm recovering from Christmas. I've also been working really weird hours because of the holiday. So it's like I'm tired. I feel exhausted. So we're just kind of taking it easy for Christmas Eve. I'm gonna sit back and maybe watch some TV, read a book, diamond paint, those types of things, cuddle with my cats. My poor cats. So around Christmas I had, I took a couple days off of work, which I was really thankful that I was able to do that. I work for a contract company, so I don't get paid time off. So anytime I do take off, I don't get paid for it. And I was able to budget enough savings that I was able to take a couple days off, which was really nice. But like, I had a 6-day stint where I was at home, and the boys, we call them the boys, they're my cats because we don't have children, we have 2 cats. And the boys were like, where have you been? Because half of that time we were already went home. So we spent Christmas Eve and Christmas at the grandparents'. And then one of the days we actually spent all day with our bestest friends shopping and running around and doing all kinds of craziness. And then another day we were doing something else. So like, I was only home really for like 2 of those days. So, yeah. And they're used to us being home all the time. I'm actually lucky enough to be able to work from home. So when we do leave the house, they're like, what's going on? Where you abandoned us? Where'd you go? Yeah. They're a little spoiled. But that's okay. So yeah, Happy New Year! Yay! I can't believe it's 2025. I feel like we blinked and 2024 just kind of like disappeared. I truly don't know what happened. It's really weird. So as I get older, time passes more quickly, and that is frightening, first of all. But it's also really interesting to think about. That's a rabbit hole we're not going to get into, but yeah. Happy 2025. I can't wait to type the year 2024 for the next 3 months until I get used to the fact that it's 2025. I actually caught that. As an issue yesterday at work. Someone typed 2024 as one of our deadlines, and I was like, yeah, that's wrong. That's supposed to say, January 6th, 2025. I was like, I'll just fix that. It's fine. So yeah, can't wait for that. That's always fun. Turn of the year. I did get my planner all set up and ready for 2025, which is really exciting. I don't have I tried a bullet journal way back when, but I couldn't stick with it. So what I ended up doing was I actually ended up ordering a refillable planner that is kind of set up like a bullet journal, but not quite. If you guys are interested in seeing it, I'll link it down in the section below. I ordered it off Amazon, and the brand is Clever Fox. But I really liked it because of how it was set up, and it's like a refillable binder. So you get the binder once, and then every year you can just buy the refills, which is really nice. I really like being able to reuse the binder and not having to buy a whole new journal every single year, which is awesome. But it's set up in a way that is similar to a bullet journal, but not quite. So it has different sections where you can set up your yearly goals and your you can write down your different passions and what you want to work on for the year and blah blah blah. And then it has it actually has pages that are relative to the style of a bullet journal. So if you do like to use the graph paper and stuff like that, it does come with some of those that are in it. So if you like to doodle or take notes or whatever, whatever you want to use those pages for, they do insert a few of those for you. But it also has the calendars already set up, which is really nice. And then it also has like a weekly and daily breakdowns that are already set up for you to utilize, which is what I really like. So my issue with bullet journaling was that I couldn't keep up with having to set up my own pages and my own calendars and my own, you know, my own sections and stuff. I like having that stuff set up for me and then just me coming in and filling in what I want to fill in or need to. It also has what are they called? Monthly reviews. So like at the end of each month, there's a section where you can reflect back on the month, and you know, where you may have fallen short on some of your goals or where you may have exceeded, like, and you can put like your wins and things like that. So that's really cool. So yeah, it just has a bunch of really good stuff. I really like using a planner, and I really liked certain aspects of the bullet journal when I tried doing it. But again, I wasn't capable, I guess. I mean, I am capable, but I wasn't dedicated enough to keep up with the bullet journal because it was just so much work to have to set up my own trackers and pages and stuff. So this works really well for me. So I got that all set up for the new year, which is really exciting. And I have set some goals for myself. So yeah. Do you guys set goals for yourself every year? I know some people really are into that, and some people just aren't, which is completely fine. But I like going into not just the new year with goals, but honestly every day with a goal or like a game plan. I'm a planner, so yeah, I like going in with a plan of action. So if you guys do have any like goals or New Year's resolutions, so to speak, let me know what they are. Some of mine include, like, I really want to complete 12 diamond paintings this year at minimum, which I think is really doable. And the reason why I set that goal is because I'm currently buying them faster than I can complete them, which is fine, but at the same time, it's like my poor closet. My poor closet. My closet's like, can you take some out, please? And I'm like, nope, take some more. So yeah, so that's one of my goals. Something else that I would like to do is I would like to read 15 books this year. I actually read a total of 20 this year, and I had a goal of 24, so I actually missed that goal by 4, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So I've set my reading goal a little lower, which is perfectly fine. I don't want to be like too ambitious. I have a lot of different hobbies. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I love to diamond paint. I love to read. I also design my own crochet patterns that I sell on my Etsy shop. I recently started doing like craft fairs and craft shows. I also really like to play games. I love to watch TV. So I am like the queen of hobbies. Truly, I have too many hobbies, and every time I pick up a new one, I think my husband like dies a little bit on the inside, which is hilarious. So I have made, I feel like, pretty realistic like goals for myself this year in terms of my hobbies. So I want to do 12 diamond paintings this year, which is, if you break it down by monthly, that's 1 a month. I want to read 15 books, which I think is really, really doable. So we're going to be working towards that. I want to design 12 patterns this year for my shop, and I've already done 1, so I'm ahead of the game, and it counts towards next year. It counts. It counts. I just got a head start. It's fine. And I also want to do 3 craft shows this year, so we'll see how that goes. I know 2 that I already want to do, and then I'm trying to find one for like the spring or summer. So I've got 1 in the fall planned and then 1 in December planned. And then I'm trying to find 1 in the summer to potentially do. I actually had my first craft show this last month, and it was December 14th. And unfortunately, the weather was not great, which really affected the turnout that this show usually has. So I still came out positive, which is really impressive, but if we would have had a crowd, I probably would have made out like a bandit. So I was kind of disappointed, by that, but you can't control the weather, and I keep telling myself, you know, it's nobody's fault. Even other vendors were like, yeah, no, last year this event had a huge crowd, and it was really bad weather. It wasn't like just rain and storms. It was like icing and sleeting, and on our way in that morning, it was slick. It was dangerous. Like, I don't fault anyone for not wanting to go out and shop in that weather at all. So yeah, but I still came out positive, which was nice. Like, you know, I didn't make a super ton of money, but the people that did come through were very interested in what I was selling, and most of them purchased. And I actually had one of the busiest tables that participated this year, which I think really speaks volumes, honestly. So I was, you know, it's a learning experience, learning opportunity. I was happy with what I was able to do. I just wish that the weather hadn't have been such a factor, but it's fine. So if you don't know, I just mentioned this, but I do crochet, and I do have a Centro knitting machine. I also have an Etsy store. But at this craft show, I was selling hats and scarves, and then I was also selling scrunchies. And everyone was really, really excited, and they really thought that my items were very well made and nice. So I'm really looking forward to doing it again next year. And I'm just gonna hope that the weather is gonna be a little bit better. It couldn't be much worse unless, you know, we end up with like 12 feet of snow or something, which could happen. We are in central Illinois, so you never know. I think I'm gonna do that green color. This is the fairy dust, okay. So yeah, one of my other goals is to do 3 craft shows this year. I don't want to overexert myself, so I think 3 is a good number because it is just me making stuff for these events. And yeah, so that's another one of my goals. And then, you know, I have other goals set for myself this year, like health-wise. Like, I want to take better care of myself. I want to keep myself, you know, held more accountable for things and whatnot. So yeah. If you guys have any goals or New Year's resolutions, let me know. I'm excited for the new year. I really am. I think this is going to be a great year. And yeah. So back to the craft show aspect that I was talking about. I mainly just have like winter and fall items in my inventory right now. And I am trying out different patterns to see what else I would like to sell during like my spring shows. If you guys wouldn't mind, let me know what kind of items draw your attention when you go to different artisan events. Like what catches your eye when you're shopping at those types of events. And I don't really want to make like toys and stuffies. Like amigurumi is really, really big in the crochet community, and that's great, but those aren't the types of items that I like to make. I like to make like accessories and like really usable items. So yeah, like right now I'm experimenting with a pattern that I found on YouTube for like a little card wallet holder. Oh my goodness. Like a little card wallet to hold like your credit cards and your like rewards cards and stuff. And I really like the pattern. I think the items come out pretty well. I've tested it 2 or 3 times so far, and I think that might be something that I include in my inventory. But I am interested in what you guys think, or if you guys have any ideas, because I may not have thought of your idea, and I would really appreciate it. But my big thing is I really want to focus on items that are usable, like something that you can use and not just be like, oh, this is really pretty. So yeah, and like it's not like I have anything against like stuffed animals and stuffies. I don't know, I feel like everyone who crochets and goes to like craft markets and stuff, they're always selling stuffed animals, and I want to be different. I don't want to follow the masses. I want to do something a little bit different, if that makes sense. And also, I'm really hesitant to sell stuffed animals and whatnot because when you put safety eyes on them, you do or you should disclose that they are a choking hazard for children, you know, under the ages of 3 or whatever. And I don't want that kind of liability. I don't want that kind of liability on my shoulders. So I'm trying to stay away from that sort of thing and let the people who make stuffies and stuff, you know, do their thing and all that. And it's just, and honestly, I'm gonna be very frank with you. I am terrible at making stuffed animals and amigurumi. I don't know what it is. I'm really good at following directions, but I just don't have the touch for that kind of item. I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, maybe with enough practice, I could probably do it, but the few times that I have tried, I'm like, this is not really my thing. I'd rather make a giant queen-size blanket and move on with my life. So, yeah, I'm interested if you guys have any thoughts or opinions or ideas. Definitely let me know if you have any. I would really appreciate it. So, yeah, those are some of my goals for the new year. I don't know if I mentioned this. I'm thinking that I'm gonna be doing these WIP chats maybe once a month. I feel like that is a good balance. And the reason why is because I wasn't even sure that I would have enough to talk about today for you know, I think most people strive to have their WIP chats be like an hour, and I'm like, I don't know if I could really talk to myself, well, not to myself, to you guys for an hour. If there's not a holiday or something going on, I'm a relatively boring person. I'm not gonna lie. I am. You know what I do most days? I work from home, so I don't even leave the house. I work Monday through Friday. 1 day a week we'll go grocery shopping. After work, I will typically diamond paint. Diamond paint, read, do some chores, maybe hang around, play a game. I mean, every day's a little different, but yeah, something along those lines. And then I go to sleep and I get up and we do it again. That's my life. On the weekends, we might go out with friends and stuff. But realistically, my life is really boring, and I'm not complaining. I just wasn't sure if I would have enough to talk about for I don't think I would have enough to talk about if I were doing the WIP chats weekly. If I'm doing them monthly, I think I'll have enough going on in my life that I'll be able to keep up conversation. Maybe. I hope. Only time could tell. And I guess if that were to change later on, I could always do the WIP chats more frequently. But if you guys have any thoughts on that too, let me know. Definitely. Let me know. I don't know. I started this video and I was like, well, I think I have enough to talk about today. Maybe. And then I was like, well, if I don't, I guess it doesn't have to be an hour long. It could be however long I want it to be. It is my channel after all. But I am interested in your opinion, so let me know down in the comments section. I would appreciate it. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see, I guess I can talk about what I'm reading. So I'm currently reading a fantasy novel. It's called The Lost Noble, and it is by R. Litfin, Litfin. And I'm really enjoying it. She is, I think she's indie published. So she's independently published. This is actually really cool. So I go to a convention every year called Gen Con. And Gen Con is famously known as, their whole thing is they're known as the best 4 days of gaming. And it's a tabletop board game D&D convention. And it's not just limited to those types of things. I call it a nerd convention. Proudly call it a nerd convention, and we go every year. But I met the author at that convention. She had a booth set up in their author's alley, and she sold me on her book. So I bought it, and I've been reading it. I've actually had it for over a year at this point before I finally picked it up. I'm notorious for buying books and then letting them sit for a while before I really start reading them, unless I've been waiting for it. So I finally picked it up and I'm devouring it and I'm loving every minute of it. However, it is a trilogy and she only has the first 2 books out so far. So I'm like, oh, ew, okay. So I don't know if I want to pick up the second book right away after I finish the first one. Yeah, so that's my struggle right now. I don't know. I think I might wait to pick up the second book until she has a release date for the third one. So that way I'm not chomping at the bit to get my hands on the final book. Because I've also been reading Rebecca Yaros's Fourth Wing series, the Empyrean series. And I've been reading them as they come out. And let me tell you, that woman, that woman drives me nuts. I love her. I love her writing style. I love her books. But the way she ends books, it's like, okay, I'm ready for the next one. And it's like, it's not out yet. It's not out yet. Like, cliffhangers are the bane of my existence. If I can turn around and pick up the next book right away, it's not so bad. But if I have to wait, I die a little bit on the inside. Just a little. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now with my current book. It's like I'm gonna finish this one right away. I'm actually hoping I can finish it tonight so it counts towards my reading goal for 2024. But if not, it's not a big deal. It'll just count towards my 2025 reading goal, which is perfectly fine. But I don't know if I'm gonna pick up the second book right after I finish this one from hers. And it's not that I don't want to read it, because I can assure you at this point in time I do. I do very much want to read it. But the whole waiting for the third book to release drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. And like, I don't know. Maybe other people feel differently. Maybe I'm just impatient in that regard. Or, you know, spoiled. Did I tell you what pen I'm using? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This pen is from Swampwood Pens. I totally did not tell you guys at the beginning of the video what pen I was using. Yeah, so this pen is from Swampwood Pens. It's very pretty. I am so sorry. Yeah, that totally just hit me. I apologize. So yeah, that's what I'm currently reading. Some of my favorite authors are Sarah J. Maas, Rebecca Yarros. I also really like A.K. Mulford. She just had a second book come out in a series that I'm reading as well. So this goes back to having to wait for books to release. So in that series, what was book 1 called? Is it over there on my shelf? No, it's not over there on my shelf. Was it A River of Golden Bones? I think that's what it was called. I might be mistaken. But that is by A.K. Mulford, and it came out last year, and I devoured it. I devoured it in like 2 days. And when I found out it was going to be a series, I was like, oh my gosh. And I've been waiting all year for the second one to come out. But the issue is now I feel like I have to reread book 1 before I can go on to book 2 because it's been so long. And one of my friends actually got a advanced reader copy of the second book. So she read it a couple months ago and she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, this stuff is happening and people and things and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no spoilers, no spoilers. And of course she's not going to spoil anything, but she's like, I can't wait for you to read this part and hear your reaction and blah, blah, blah. But she recommended that I actually maybe go back and reread the first book because I guess a lot of things happened in book 2 that were hinted about in book 1. And because it's been so long, I may not get all the references, which that's fair. That's fair. Which is another reason why I like to have all the books out before I really pick them up and I guess read them. But not all the time. Like Fourth Wing, the Empyrean series, no. I have to read those as they come out. I'm not waiting. Because I made the mistake of reading the first book and fell in love with it, and that was that. Like, I signed on the dotted line there and was like, yep, take my soul, take my life. I have those on audiobook too, and the audiobooks versions are freaking fantastic. I know that they were coming out with like a graphic audiobook version, and I never went and picked those up, but let me tell you that the normal audiobook version is great. The narrator is awesome. So the next book in that series actually comes out in January. I think it's like the 25th, I think. Somewhere around there. It might not be the 25th, it might be like the 21st or something, but it comes out in January, and I will be immediately picking that one up and reading it. I may listen to the audiobooks before the third book comes out, just because, you know, you gotta have that refresher, right? Are you guys like that when you read a book series, and if you have to wait between releases, do you go back and like reread the prior books? If you do, let me know. And if you don't, and you think I'm weird, let me know. It could just be me. I don't know. It could just be me. So, yep, I'm looking forward to those. I'm really excited. I'm chomping at the bit. Yeah. I'm a bookworm. I really like books. Oh my gosh. So this is actually hilarious. So one of the Christmas gifts. Okay, so this ties back into my love of books. One of the Christmas gifts that my husband got me is a sign, and it is pink and white. And it says Smut Street on it. And I giggled and giggled and giggled when I opened that because it's hilarious. I do read a lot of fantasy, and I guess you could say some of them are a little smutty, but they're not the worst. They're definitely not the worst compared to some books out there. So yeah, he likes to jokingly say everything I read is smut, which is false. Absolutely false. But yeah, he got me that for Christmas, and I've put it on my bookshelf, and it makes me giggle. It makes me crack up. It really does. I love it. Describes my collection perfectly. Well, not perfectly, but sure. So, yeah. If there are any books you guys are like really excited about this year, I would love any recommendations you guys might have. I'm always looking for the next good read, or, you know, just the next book to add to my shelf and then eventually read at some point. It's funny. So I was saying earlier that I buy diamond paintings faster than I can complete them. Well, I also buy books faster than I can read them. So, you know, there's that too. It's like buying something for a hobby and actually doing the hobby are two separate things, right? Right? So like with my yarn, I buy yarn faster than I can use it. It's just how it is, right? You buy it. It's like buying and doing the actual hobby are just two separate hobbies. So those 3 hobbies right there, you multiply that by 2, and I've got 6 hobbies. I'm like the queen of hobbies. All right, I don't think there are any more of those little spade symbols. So I think we're gonna move on to this other green symbol. We'll do that one next. So yeah, any book recommendations that you guys have, I will gladly take them. Happily. Throw them at me. I actually will read a variety of books. Like I will read like thrillers and crime books. I will read, I don't particularly care for horror. I tried a Stephen King book earlier in the year and it did not go over very well. I think I chose the wrong one. But I do like psychological horror, if that makes sense. So romance, I do like romance. I like fantasy. I love high fantasy. I'll even do like sci-fi and stuff too. So I will read just about anything. It just has to be good. It just has to be good. So if you have any suggestions, I, again, would love to hear them for sure. Let's see. So I've been watching, and I say this with a grain of salt because I really haven't been watching much TV at all, but my husband and I started a rewatch of Squid Games Season 1 because Squid Games Season 2 actually came out the day after Christmas, I think it was. So we're working on a rewatch of that. We haven't made it very far. I'm not ashamed. So it's really funny because I have all these hobbies, right? I diamond paint, I crochet, I like to read, I like to play games, I like to do all of these things. However, it's hard to find the time to do everything all the time, right? So my time gets broken up between all of them, and I'm not upset about that because I don't like to be bored. So it really keeps my brain active to have different crafts and different hobbies to jump around to. I really like it. But we've only watched like one episode of Squid Games. Season 1. And I've seen the whole first season. I've seen it all before. It's just, it's been so long because we watched it when it first came out. And like, yes, I know how it ends, like in the grand scheme of things, like everybody, spoiler alert, everybody dies. Anyways, I understand that. But like I couldn't remember certain aspects of it and I didn't want to go look it up online. So I was like, let's just rewatch it, and then eventually we'll make our way into season 2 and, you know, all that jazz. And the husband's like, yeah, let's do it. He doesn't watch much TV either, so it doesn't bother him that we haven't made much progress. He's just like, okay, yeah, whenever you want to watch more, just let me know, we'll watch more. And that's just how it goes. That's how it be. So yeah, we started rewatching season 1 of Squid Games. I've been avoiding spoilers from season 2. They've been popping up a lot on my Facebook feed, but I've been avoiding those. I'm also looking forward to the next season of Stranger Things, which I don't know if it's true or not, but supposedly the final season is supposed to come out this year. I don't know if there's any really validity in that or not. But if it does, I'm excited. I don't feel like I need to rewatch that series though because I've seen it so many times at this point. I'm notorious for like picking a show and just like playing it in the background when I craft. When I'm not watching YouTube videos, because a lot of time when I'm diamond painting or crocheting or whatever, I'll put something on in the background just so I have some background noise and pretty much something to keep me company while I craft. And Stranger Things has been played so many times. I also get to like put things on in the background while I work too, because I work from home. I'm not on the phone all day or in meetings all day. So that would, you know, that also kind of attributes to how many times I've watched something. No shame, no shame. I have certain shows that I like to fall back on. And for a long time, Stranger Things was one of those like comfort options to me. And then that kind of sort of changed at some point. So like Bridgerton for a long time was a comfort option, and sometimes it still is, but I've seen the 3 seasons that are out so many times at this point. It's like, I'm ready for season 4. And I've also seen Queen Charlotte season 1 too many times too. I don't think the next season of Bridgerton's coming out this year, but I saw a rumor that they were going to release a second season of Queen Charlotte. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but if it is, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I do have the Bridgerton books on my shelf, but I've never read them. Isn't that funny? And they're actually like special edition versions. Like they have painted edges and everything. They're very pretty. And I would like to read them at some point, but I wanted to wait until the next season of Bridgerton dropped because I want to be able to enjoy the show, right? And I feel like if I read the book before I watch the show, then I'm just going to sit there and compare it the entire time, which I am guilty of and I know I will do. And I don't want to take any enjoyment away from the show because I really love the show. And I understand that the show has and, you know, will continue to take creative liberties compared to the book, which is completely fine. But I'm waiting for the next season specifically because I know season 3 actually occurred. So season 3 is like book 4 in the Bridgerton book series. So they skipped book, am I explaining this right? Season 3 is book 4. So they skipped a book, right? And then season 4 is going to fall back and then pick up that next like love story or love arc. because the show, you know, has taken some creative liberties, which is perfectly fine. But I want that to be out first before I really take a nosedive into the series. Because if I really get into it, I don't want to be like jumping ahead and all that stuff. Maybe I will at some point anyways. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know what else to say about that. Do you guys, like, if you read the book first, does it ruin the show or movie for you? Like, so I try to watch the movies and stuff before I read the book. Because then I could be like, oh my god, the movie did not do the book justice, you know? But I won't be there, like, if I read the book first and then go watch the movie or the TV show, I won't be like, oh my god, they did that wrong. Or they left this and this and this out, like, while I'm actively watching it. I feel like that could be kind of irritating, especially if you're, like, watching it with somebody else and they're like, I don't care, I'm just trying to enjoy it. So, I don't know. That's how I feel about that. But I can also admit when something is good in its own right. Like, I read, for example, The Hunger Games, right, by Suzanne Collins. I read the series, absolutely loved it, and then, you know, they released the movies. And I thought that the movies were really good in their own right. I thought they did really good. There are some things that they changed from the book, which, I mean, is to be expected in some regards. And I know a lot of people were upset about certain things that they changed from the book in the movie. And it's like, I get it, but at the same time, from like a creative standpoint, or maybe from the movie, like, director's standpoint, I can see why they made those changes. I still think that the movies came out really well. I think they did those books justice in the films. I really do. So, I don't know. I can see both sides of the coin. I really can. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of that. Yeah, I know I'm asking you guys a lot of questions. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry at the same time, because I am interested. Is it just me? Like, am I the only person who feels this way? Or are you guys, like, you know, are you guys in the same boat? I want to know. Because sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I have this, like, weird tick, and everyone else will be like, well, you're just weird. And it's like, okay, well, I'm special. I'm special. I don't know what you want me to say. All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and stop here for the day, because it looks like we are about 50 minutes into the video. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking this one out with me. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, leave me a star emoji down in the comments section below. Yeah, let me know. Let me know if you guys made it to the end by doing that. I would really appreciate it. I think it's interesting to see those types of comments on other WIP chats, just to see how many people actually made it to the end. You know, it's kind of fun. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the section below about the different topics that we talked about today. I would really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a fantastic, fantastic new year. I hope you have some great goals set for yourself. Make those New Year's resolutions and stick with them. I'm certainly going to be trying my best this year to stick with the goals that I've laid out for myself. And yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so on the way out. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!